She is the most popular and most expensive prostitute in town. Every day, many men line up just to spend 10 minutes with her. One day, a young man pays double to cut the line, just to talk to her. She thinks he's playing tricks, puts her clothes on, and lies on the bed, but the man says he wants to marry her and promises to give her a good life. She's heard this kind of talk too many times, so she doesn't take it seriously and asks him to leave when time is up. The next day, the man comes again, paying double, still asking to marry her. Though she doesn't believe him, her attitude is less cold, and she even says she enjoys talking with him. On the third visit, she realizes he is serious. Afraid of falling into a trap of tenderness, she coldly says she looks down on him as a low-class man. The man leaves in sorrow, and as she watches his back, she feels stirred inside. She doesn't really look down on him, but her rough life has made it hard to trust men. She is an illegitimate child. At 13, she and her mother are kicked out of the house. Her mother tries to pawn some jewelry but finds it is fake. To raise her, her mother sells herself and later dies of illness. She is sold to a duke with a pedophilia fetish and is forced into prostitution as she grows up. Her first client turns out to be her biological father. After learning the truth, the father commits suicide, and from then on, she becomes cold and numb. Later, she escapes, only to be beaten and robbed by her partners, and is eventually taken in by a madam and becomes a plaything again. The man is Michael, son of a landowner. Disgusted by his father's mistreatment of servants, he leaves home, works hard, and buys a farm. Living an honest life, all he lacks is love. He prays in church for a good match and meets her while delivering goods. At first sight, he knows she's the one. A friend warns him she's a prostitute, but he doesn't care and visits her the next day. She is moved by Michael and wants to leave the brothel. She goes to the madam to ask for her money but is rejected and beaten. She provokes the madam and nearly gets killed. Michael seems to sense something is wrong and rushes back overnight, using all his savings to redeem her. Since she is injured and cannot work, the madam agrees. He asks her again if she would marry him, and she says yes. He brings her back to the farm. When she wakes up, she removes the ring and says she won't stay long and doesn't want to be a slave to marriage. He puts the ring back in front of her and says he wants to marry her because he likes her. She still doesn't believe him. 3 weeks later, after recovering, she runs away while he is out. He chases her on horseback. She thinks he's going to drag her back and slaps him, saying she's not his property. But he only comes to give her water and clothes, worried she won't survive in the mountains after being seriously ill. Michael doesn't send Angel back to town, nor does he force her to stay. He gives her two choices: go forward 19 miles to town, where the brothel and madam await, or go back 1 mile to the farm, where there is warmth, food, and a husband. He lets her decide, then rides away. That night, Angel returns to the farm. Michael says nothing, just brings out a hot meal and warms water to wash her feet. She has never been treated like this and is emotionally stirred, but her past makes her wary. She tries to seduce Michael, but he is a gentleman and doesn't touch her. Later, Angel wants to repay him through labor, and Michael indulgently agrees. They start a simple farm life together, collecting eggs, weeding vegetables, cooking, and fishing. At night, she still tries to tempt Michael, who can only cool off in the river. One night, Angel wakes from a nightmare, and Michael takes her to the mountaintop. As the sun rises, he says he wants to give her a life full of light and keep her from harm. Angel finally opens her heart and accepts him. Michael had rejected her before because he believes intimacy should be shared only by those who truly love each other. Now that they are emotionally connected, Angel experiences real joy for the first time. The good days don't last. Michael's sister's husband, Paul, returns. He recognizes Angel as a prostitute and thinks she deceived Michael. While Michael is out, Paul warns her to leave and pours hot tea into her cup to insult her. He later tells Michael about Angel's past, saying she doesn't deserve him. Michael has already sensed something is off. Seeing Paul insult Angel, he punches him and says, for his sister's sake, as long as Paul stops humiliating Angel, they can still be family. He then asks Paul to go to town the next day to buy supplies and repent in church. Michael comforts Angel, saying he doesn't care about her past and wants to build a family with her. But this makes Angel, who already plans to leave, even more determined. She had been forced to abort a child and can no longer have children. She cannot give Michael the life he wants. The next day, Angel leaves with Paul for town. During a rest stop, Paul has lustful thoughts. Angel also wants to cut off her feelings for Michael completely, and they have sex. Nearing town, Paul, afraid of being seen with her, kicks her off the wagon. Angel mocks his hypocrisy and walks away. Angel tries to retrieve her belongings from the brothel, only to find it in ruins, burned down over a month ago. The madam and 2 prostitutes died in the fire. With nowhere to go, she ends up under another pimp's control. After hearing this from Paul, Michael finds Angel and takes her away. Though he understands her pain, he can't help but cry at night, feeling helpless. Angel, seeing his sorrow, feels dirty and jumps into the river to wash herself all night, scrubbing her skin raw. She says her heart is full of demons, and she doesn't know how to love. Michael tells her through his own experience that abandoning the past is hard, but with determination and willpower, it is possible. The two resolve their misunderstandings and return to a peaceful life. One day, they come across a family of 4 whose carriage has broken down. One of them, a pregnant woman, is about to give birth, so Michael and Angel decide to take them in temporarily. A few days later, the baby is born, and the family decides to settle on the farm. Michael is overjoyed, as he truly loves children. Whenever he has free time, he holds the baby and won't let go. Seeing this, Angel confesses that she was once pregnant but was forced to have an abortion and can no longer bear children. Michael is stunned for a moment but quickly reassures her that he loves her no matter what, saying that nothing is impossible. Yet, the more tender he is, the more guilty Angel feels. That evening, Angel prepares a hearty dinner. After the meal, she takes Michael to the mountaintop where they watch the sunrise for the first time. Bathed in the sunset, she straddles Michael, and under the witness of heaven and earth, they make a vow of love. The next morning, Angel leaves behind her ring and a letter and walks out of Michael's life again. This time, Michael doesn't go looking for her. He knows Angel needs to redeem herself, and forcing her to stay won't bring true happiness. Angel's days are full of hardship. She travels from Boston to New York and lands a job as a live-in cook thanks to her farm experience. Just as her life starts to feel stable, the cafe is destroyed in a sudden fire. It turns out the Duke has found her. After killing the woman who once helped Angel escape, he never stops searching. Now, seeing her reformed, he wants her to return to her old life. Angel is taken to a brothel, and she is scheduled to be sold that very night. During the cleansing, she sees a girl about 8 or 9 years old, and nightmarish memories rush back, making her collapse in pain. After being made up and just before taking the stage, she thinks of her mother and Michael. Her mother was a devout Christian. As a child, Angel believed that sincere prayer would get them through hard times. But her mother still died, and since then, Angel has stopped believing in God. It isn't until she meets Michael that she begins to understand. While God may not directly fulfill wishes, he provides guidance and courage. Angel calmly looks out at the crowd and says that the Duke likes little girls. There are 2 locked upstairs. Though morality is low at the time, crimes like child abduction and abuse still provoke universal outrage. But without evidence, Angel's words fail to shake the crowd. Soon, the patrons are soothed and return to their drinking and debauchery. The Duke, furious, drags her upstairs. He had already warned Angel that if she plays tricks again, he will kill her. Just as he is about to pull the trigger, a black man stops him. The man had been in the crowd earlier and felt Angel wasn't lying, so he secretly followed them upstairs. Angel doesn't have time to thank him. She rushes next door and opens the door, determined to take the 2 girls with her. At that moment, the Duke's thug appears. In desperation, Angel grabs an iron rod and knocks him down, then takes the girls and runs down the stairs, disappearing into the night. When the crowd sees that the girls are real, the once pleasure-seeking men turn into judges. They hang the Duke at the front gate. 3 years later, Paul is on a business trip in San Francisco. He spots a familiar figure entering a shelter. He follows and finds that it is Angel. Now completely free, she studies at the shelter and works at a restaurant. Though life isn't rich, she is content. Paul has remarried and is expecting a child. After a brief chat, he apologizes for his past cruelty. Angel replies calmly, saying she has long since forgotten it. However, when Paul mentions Michael, a flicker of panic flashes across Angel's otherwise calm face. It turns out that even after all these years, Michael still hasn't remarried. He is still waiting for Angel. Her panic turns into pain. In that moment, she feels as if a piece of her heart has been torn away, bleeding endlessly. Finally, under the setting sun, Angel walks toward Michael once more. Choking back tears, she says, "My real name is Sarah. After my mother passed away, I never told anyone, because it was the only thing I had that no one could take from me. But now, I'm willing to give all of my true self to you, because I love you, deeply and truly." Another year passes, and Sarah, once believed to be infertile, has not only given birth to a son but is now pregnant with another child. Just as Michael once said, in this life, anything is possible.